This is going to be a diatribe of acoustic guitar neck materials, and I'll try to keep it short. There'll also be a section on capos, because capos are one of the offenders for some of the dings I'm going to be showing here. But let me go through what I'm describing here, in particular the necks. This guitar is a Larrivee OM 03R, rosewood back and sides, but the neck is a single piece of Honduran mahogany with a traditional dovetail joint. The finish is UV cured polyester. This next neck is a CNC Martin short scale modified V profile mahogany neck. The next finished guitar here is a Martin D16 GT built in 2009. It is select hardwood neck, which means you get to guess what it is. And I'll put my supposition in there. It's an mortise tenon style neck joint. It is a single piece of wood, so it's not, it's not one of those. It doesn't have the headstock wings, and it doesn't have the stacked heel, just as this doesn't. So there's that. Pardon the cord there. This is my microphone. Next neck is off of a 1973 Takamine lawsuit Martin, a lawsuit Takamine. This guitar was a single piece of I don't even know what kind of wood it is. It looks like mahogany. Looks very similar to that, which I know is mahogany. But then this also closely represents mahogany as well, but it's got different density to it, basically. Next guitar is one of my own making. That's a clearly a laminated neck. The main parts of the body are mahogany riffs on that I bought from a local lumber supplier. And this is just another example of that, unfinished. This is French polished, this is unfinished, and this is another one made with a different type of wood, but I just wanted to show this as to exhibit what the differences are as far as coloration of mahogany goes. It does tend to darken overage to this hue naturally. This hue here is actually tinted. One of my biggest gripes about Martin is you don't see the true color of the wood. It looks very artificial. This guitar here has seen the most wear because it's 43 years old, and it's got some dings in there from falling over and taking various different capos. It's held up pretty good otherwise. I mean, yes, it has a couple of bumps on it, and you can see there's a couple of big ones. Those are incidental things, but the neck, by and large, other than these three big divots in here, it's still pretty good. For what it's worth, I'm actually going to probably try to reattach this to the body. I have another project going with that guitar I'll touch up on in another video. This guitar here is 10 years old, and I'm going to try to use the lighting to exhibit the condition of the neck. And now, note the grain. I'm also doing something you can see right there. There's a little ding. This guitar, all of mine, has gotten the most use. And this guitar here is a newer guitar. This is actually my newest guitar. I've owned this one for about 7 years now. And I'm going to try to zoom in on this. I'm using the highlights here. You can see the little divots and stuff in the neck here, especially around the apex of the curve of the radius. And you'll see there. that it's got some really bad marks on it. I mean, this, you can see it even goes into the grain there. But my thinking with this guitar is, let me focus here, is that this is a mahogany. It certainly doesn't. When it was first new, I could notice when I played it, my hands actually touched it, the odor, that stereotypical Martin smell, would be on the neck, all up and down the neck. And here's the case over here. I can't open it up, but just like Martin has their own neck, their own cases made, which are, you know, a lot of people say, hey, and no, it doesn't have a bevel. It's kind of laying, kind of funny. The smell comes from the case, not the neck, but I disagree, because I see the same smell coming from inside the sound hole, which is the curved lining is documented as being Spanish cedar, and since the neck itself had the same smell, that's what I based the supposition of it being Spanish cedar as opposed to true mahogany. You know, even back then in 2009, they were saying woods were select hardwoods, which mean you would get whatever they decided to pick at the time. And I've shown you the damage over the years. I mean, this guitar being 10 years old doesn't have nearly as much wear as this guitar, though this guitar gets played much more than this one. So that's why I say this is Spanish cedar.